The king of RBA Business Talk Radio on ESPN 106.1 FM, Choice 105.3, and worldwide on IBGR.network.
Right here?
Yeah, you pulled it. That's fine.
There you go.
Michael Mike. Welcome, Michael Mike. Welcome, Michael Mike. My name is Isabella, and you're listening to Mike King Big Hubby. That's my scam.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on the Mike of Mike. You know what it is. It's the premier business radio program around. It's part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network, ESPN Richmond 106.1, 7 a.m. The Choice 105.3 every day from 2 to 3. International Business Coach Radio. That's who we are. That's what we do. That is Saturdays, 10 a.m. in the East. Tell people I'm LeBron James of recruiting. I get the best and the brightest. That's what we do here. You know, people listen. Sometimes people don't listen. That's what, it doesn't matter. We bring the game changers to you. All righty. So we wrapped up our interview with Anna, and she is from Swift Creek Living. And, you know, you leave the light on and friends and family come back to the building. So here we had Deneen Tyler. She is my personal tarot card reader. She is my entry and entree to that world. Welcome to the, and you know what? And we still have Anna Soden with us as well.
I just had to stick around.
She had to stick around because, you know, but she is an understanding of that world.
Yes.
And she likes that.
I like it.
Like I said, I was a convert. You know, I was a convert, but now here we are. All right, so Deneen, let people know who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. So I'm Deneen Tyler. I am the spiritual wellness practitioner at Womanish Intuition, LLC. A lot of people like to call me their spiritualist.
Yes.
Tarot reader.
I've called you all of those.
Spiritual counselor.
Yes.
It's all in the same vein. And so I use tarot and I mix that with my mental health training and background to create sacred spaces so people can really identify where they're mentally and emotionally blocked.
Okay, because I got some things I got to talk to you about, but let's get and you know what I do? Let's get the credentials out the way so people know who you are and don't think that you paid for them. I don't care what a person comes here, what their title is.
I put it on everything. I used to not do it because I'd be like, oh, you know, it's all, I'm trying to be mild. And
no, I ain't being mild.
You know, but I had a Black professor who had a doctorate, and she was like, honey, when we go through all of this to get this, we always tack it on to the end of our name.
I'm trying to get me some,
require people
I'm
to
trying to get me
recognize,
some credentials.
like recognize the scholarship, right? And so yes, bachelor's in psychology, you know, and then also a master's in divinity and divination. And,
yes, and so we had the conversation about you were going down the regular road. On the
way down the road to become a Christian counselor.
And then what happened? Wheels came off.
The monkey wrench, the proverbial monkey wrench in my, yes. So it just rerouted me.
You just
rerouted me, or I rerouted me, or I don't know what rerouted me. The universe rerouted me.
And you were out to make, okay, so now there's certain things I want to talk to you about. One, you said there's life scripts, that what you had and learned is not what you have to pass on to your children.
Of course not.
Okay,
of course, tradition, you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, right?
Yeah.
You know, your traditional religion, your traditional habits, your family traditions, right? But at the same time, the next generation is always bringing in that newness. So we're going to keep what we knew, but also I add on to what I've learned. And so at my core, I am a Christian who loves love. Who loves the principle of love, who studies that, right? But I've evolved. I've given myself permission to color outside the lines a little bit. So
you're scaring people color outside the lines. People look at you kind of funny.
Oh, they do, unless they know. Because those people who know, they're like, yes, you know too. You know, so they're like, yes, my people. Like, so it's a couple of people out there. The people who are stuck to tradition and they do not want to color outside the lines, they are very offended and threatened by the new age, metaphysical, spiritual stuff, you know.
They are, and you know, I wasn't like totally hardcore one of those, but I did grow up with that.
Yeah, me too.
And the idea of it was like I was telling Anna, okay, so even things like the astrology and you know the signs, we didn't even talk and touch on those because it was devilish. But now my mother, my grandma, all of them are people are buying dream books.
Dream books?
I don't know, like
they're talking about the 3 wise men who looked at the star to find Jesus. the star looking is astrology. You know, like it's in there.
But they wouldn't tell me that. They were just
They
like,
don't talk
no, they
about
were
it
not.
like that. That's too much. That's
Okay,
too
so
much.
when Anna, so let's talk about the first time that you came across tarot, and also you had talked about essential oils. Now I wasn't,
Yes.
I didn't know, but I kind of was very sheltered.
Okay, so a lot of us were protected.
We were
right?
protected. Some jumped out further than others. So others kind of peeked out there and stuck a toe in it. So, Anna, let's talk about you. When did you come across tarot the first time?
When I started practicing yoga.
Yep,
Mind body connection. Spirit. And so that and doing a Bob Proctor program, and it just the idea of spirituality is it's all around us. It's based in, well, religion is based in spirituality, right?
Exactly.
It's all the same thing. It's just we're all talking the same conversation, just some people just don't want to hear it. It's like using a different word, like circle or round.
Yeah.
Same
Hashtag
thing.
or pound. It's
right, same thing.
It's funny, so I went to California when I was around 19. And being from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, it was just like, and so my family, you don't just go to church, you got to go to church and be a big deal. You don't just go, you just got to be all of that right there.
Absolutely.
I went to California and I realized you didn't have to be your stuff.
Nope.
That's the first time I'd run into the whole spiritual kind of thing. My mother would have thought I went to the moon because it changed me fundamentally.
Yeah.
Yes.
I met people that I had never seen before.
Stretched you.
And it stretched me. And all of a sudden, it changed me to how I am today. Because all of a sudden, it didn't have to be that thing.
The way that it was.
Yes.
So what you're saying is that the idea of bad karma, bad training I had as a child, I don't have to pass that on.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't even say bad. I would say old. I would say old
okay.
Programming doesn't necessarily have to continue on to be new programming. It can, but you can also integrate the old into the new. You know what I mean? Just make it more what's right for you, not necessarily what's right for the people who raised you.
Alrighty, so this is a business show right here. Hey, you know what I always say? Who would have been shocking? Mike is here talking about business stuff. Let's talk about the business of the spiritualist type thing going on here.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Well, I mean, I guess I could start with saying that, you know, most of the tarot readers or spiritualists I know, they are entrepreneurs, because this kind of work isn't necessarily respected just yet in Western treatment circles. You know, it's not necessarily something that a lot of us bill for on people's insurance or anything like that. You know, it's mostly something that is offered to people, and then people, you know, exchange their finances to receive the offering. So it is a very lucrative business, though. It is very high demand, very popular amongst those who value it.
Do you think it's gotten better or easier once we went through COVID? Because prior to that, and you know, coming from whether it's corporate world or entrepreneurship, when you stepped off for your own mental health, it said that there was something weak about you. You know, the world's going on. You stepped off because you couldn't hang. Well, the whole world got sent home on time.
What do we have to say now?
Is it any different? Do you guys, what's the difference that you guys see now in people, whether it's spiritual, whether it's business, than it was pre-pandemic? Is there any difference?
I think people are more open. I think they realize that it doesn't have to be 1, 2, 3, that we can do 1, 1.5, and 1 1/4, and like make our own way in this world. And it doesn't, like you said, old, and words matter, right? So nothing is bad. Right. And so it's just, I think coming back to our center, finding out truly who we are and how different that can be, but yet we're all the same energy, right? And so we all come from the same source.
And I think the pandemic leveled the playing field there.
Yes.
And it all socioeconomic statuses, all races, all cultures kind of were met with the same circumstances at this point.
And
give or take,
right? For the most part, whether you could go here or there,
you could go nowhere during this time.
No matter
how much you
got sent home.
Okay. So
and you had to deal with your kids and your family.
Yes.
And you understood why the teacher was frustrated because little Johnny was
bad. It caused a total reset and a reality check. And I think what it did with business is that COVID showed us that you can do business in other ways.
Yes.
You can work from home remotely and still run these businesses.
People didn't think so. I talked to
they
business
didn't think
owner.
it was possible.
Yeah. I talked to the CEO of Elephant Insurance, and he said, I said, what'd you learn? He said,
Big lessons.
I never thought working remote would work. And he
Mhm.
said, all of a sudden, it did.
It-
A month into it, I realized this thing is gonna work.
Yep.
Because, and you know what? So now, that's nothing personal, man, but you know,
here we
we're
go.
going on this touchy-feely stuff.
Here we
A
go.
lot of times people didn't thought that touchy-feely stuff, which is culture, really didn't make a difference. It's just, I feel good. It makes a difference.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Well,
And
being in person.
Whether it's
Or-
being in person or the whole culture of an organization,
Yeah.
that a business or an organization has a heart.
Yes, that's true. That's true. We used to keep emotions out of business.
It's just
We used to try to
business.
separate
Yes.
it
It's
like a
just
church and
business.
state kind of thing. But
Uh-huh.
what we're realizing is that there is no separation.
There is.
And if there is, it's degrees. It's so little, it's not. You know. So yeah.
Alrighty, so you brought the cards here. Let's talk about, let's
I'm
talk
getting
about,
excited.
What you want to talk about?
I don't know, how about the business climate? I don't wanna get, people think sometimes I would go down the
You
political
do.
road.
You go down all the roads.
Yeah, I do, and like I was saying, I've been some places that, sometimes people didn't want to come to. They were a little
Yeah,
scared coming
yeah.
over to my past home.
Yeah.
Shout out to conservative radio. I don't know what anybody said. It's my man, John Fredericks, WJFN radio. We don't think the same way on the political side, but he gave me the keys to the kingdom and showed me how to be on this
And there we
microphone.
go. See?
I got something.
We can
Purposeful.
coexist.
We can coexist. Everybody can't think the same way.
No, now shall we try? We all
Right,
play our
exactly.
parts. We all
We all play our parts. An orchestra.
Yes.
Man, listen to me.
Look at
Look
you.
at me, look at me.
Look.
I'm not the deep thinker. People are not calling me for the origins of the universe.
Like this,
No,
Larry.
no, I'm not.
What you
But
want?
I
What
can
if you
figure,
could be?
I can figure out to put people together.
Yeah, you're a connector.
I can do that,
You're a
but
connector
now,
for sure.
yeah, plus, stick to itness.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so here, what are you talking about today? Anna, give us a topic, please.
Give us a topic?
Yes.
Well, so
Yeah.
your tarot
Mine-
cards. I would love for you to pull a card for me. Are you
There you
open to
go.
that?
Mike.
What? What are you looking at me for?
All right, here, you shuffle these.
Okay.
All right, so of course you have to connect with the energy of the cards. Take
yes.
a few deep breaths for me, okay?
Okay.
I want you to inhale through your nostrils for 4. Hold the breath for 4. And then open your mouth and exhale for 4 seconds. All right, as you're shuffling, do that. Get into a rhythm of inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale, good. One more inhale, and then you can put the cards down on the counter. All right, are you right-handed or left-handed? All right, so with your left hand, cut the cards
How many times?
3 piles, and then I'll pick it up. Excellent. All right, so this is your deck. It's already set. We're not going to move any cards. We're just going to read. Do you have a question that was pretty dominant while you were shuffling? Or pretty dominant? now?
Yes. You want me to ask that? Ooh, look at that. It's time for me to meditate.
Ah! All right, so we have
Oh.
the 7 of Cups, the Star card, and the Devil card, not to be confused with the traditional church devil. This is the devil energy is something that's restricting or limiting you.
Okay.
Okay, so most times it's fear, but other times it could be just your habits, other people, substance use, etc. So there's something that you're wondering is it going to lead to happiness? Is it going to lead to emotional fulfillment? Is it going to be like the right direction in that regard? And it could have to do with something regarding healing, could have to do with community, but also could have to do with Aquarius energy or Capricorn energy as well.
I'm an Aquarius.
Oh, okay.
Really? My wife is
So-
an Aquarius,
so
and I'm a Capricorn.
It
I'm
could
sorry.
be. So these messages are for whoever's listening as well as
I'm
who it's
sorry.
intended for as well. And so it's something that is wanting to heal, and yet there's something restricting it as
Okay.
well. All right, so I'm gonna stop there. That's my dry read. What was your question about?
So I was sharing with Mike, right? What I do is I connect with businesses and I love what I'm doing, but there is the doubt of, am I really good enough to do this?
Okay. And that's something that's healing, that sense of worth, that
Yes.
sense of deservingness, that sense of I am enough.
Yes.
They will listen, I have the authority, blah, blah, blah,
Yes.
you understand? And yet there is the only thing that's really holding you back is some type of restrictive feeling that you have inside of you,
Yes.
not necessarily out here.
Right.
It's
It's internal,
type of-
absolutely.
And so I'm gonna stop there, Mike, because I don't know how long we have to go into this well, but that's kind of how it works. It kind of picks up on what it is that you are feeling right now,
Mhm.
and then we could go deeper and say, okay, let's pull some cards regarding how to unblock that. Where does that root in? Is it rooted
Yes.
in a father figure? You know, a father sometimes in a daughter's life helps to affirm them, make them feel worthy and deserving. A mother could also, but you know, that daddy daughter really makes you
Yes.
feel like I'm a powerhouse.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So we could go deeper, but I'm not gonna.
On the mic with Mike, Deneen Tyler, she's out there. How can people find you?
People can find me at womanish.com, WOMAN, 1sh.com.
One at a time. So, on the mic with Mike, ESPN Richard Anna is here with us. She is of Swift Creek Living, the magazine. Make sure you check her out as well. So, Deneen, sometimes I see you have a little bit of frustration with folks.
You know I be venting.
Yeah.
You know I can rant.
Yes, I do.
listen,
Okay. So I did see you put the women's group thing out there, and you said people said they wanted it.
People definitely need it.
And they want to
it.
need it.
But
And then when they
not
didn't
ready,
show, okay, and then
right?
you spank people's booty.
I mean, I
You
say
did,
what
you
it
spanked
is.
them.
I give people the mama talk that they need. Like, you ask for this healing, you need it because you keep coming to bring it to my readings and things, to our space, and then you know you're not taking advantage of it, or the timing is not right, but you will take advantage of it, you know. So it's kind of that pattern, you know. It's a pattern of ready, are they committed and ready, or are they just wanting it?
Yeah.
You know, because it's not always the same.
One of Mike Deneen is here, Anna's with this. Okay, so Anna, you are an Aquarius?
I am,
Okay.
January 25th.
Oh, otherworldly. Yeah, she's otherworldly.
And so
I like
my
to
wife
receive
is,
it.
so I live in a household full of Aquarians. I do.
You live in
Two
outer space.
sons.
You live in space.
Yes.
Exactly. And that's exactly
You
what
live
we're
in space.
talking about, because they're different. Yes, and I'm a Capricorn. Yes, people are like, how did you guys survive for 40 years?
I told
It's
you,
been-
it can work.
It can work. It's a struggle because that whole mind of Aquarius thing, a little different.
You gonna get yourself in trouble. man.
I
Stop.
stay there but you know what? I never knew. I never thought about that, the whole astrology thing. I always thought that people were just who you were.
No, the
No.
stars show alignments. They show the potential for really easy relationships or the potential for really tumultuous relationships, all of which could be long-term partnerships. They just might have a more difficult kind of ride.
I love her words. Do you
Yeah.
listen to her words?
I do. You know,
Words matter. and She has
You know,
beautiful
I
words.
think that
Yeah.
people don't really realize when I say words are currency and they matter.
They are.
Absolutely.
And that's why I choose mine.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people do a lot of talking. And
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, nope.
Speak with integrity, right? One of the
Absolutely.
four agreements. One of the
Yes.
agreements, really, right? Is you don't know. Are you
The
looking
four
at me with a
agreements?
blank?
I never, what is it?
You gotta read about the
Always
four
be
agreements.
impeccable with your
Impeccable
word.
with your words.
What was there?
It's a little.
but-
Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to bring you.
Yeah, there's
book.
some other ones. It's the four agreements. They're like universal truths that kind of resonate with the majority of people, unless you're just being a blank, you know. blank.
So
Right.
Yeah.
maybe I was, you guys are younger than me. Maybe that they didn't have that in school when I went there.
It's an old book.
Okay,
It's
I mean, most of this is built on ancient wisdoms, but
Right.
I'll give it to you if you want to.
And, okay.
It's
On the
available. We're in
mic-
the age of information. It's available.
It's
Let's just say
available.
that it's available.
Information is available if you knew it existed.
This
You know to
is
go.
true. This
You,
is
if
true.
you had never been exposed
I'm
to
gonna
it,
get you. I
Exactly.
try to weasel out
I'm like,
the four
okay.
agreements.
And
like
you guys are
today.
standing there like, of course. Like,
Because
both
you
of
looked at me like a deer in headlights.
I'm
I'm
like-
like, he's not he
you
don't know
know,
what I'm
he
talking
doesn't know what he's
about.
talking about, and you're up here shaking your head like, yeah, of course.
She's like,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is okay. On the mic with Mike. Anna, how can people find you and your organization out there?
We are on social media, Swift Creek Living at Best Version Media.
There you go. And shout out to my friend Jill Chickowitz out there
Love my
for a
girl.
night for Scott, as well as To End the Stigma. She was just here with her crew last week when they had Batman in. All right, and
how can they find me?
how can they find you out there?
Womanish.com, WOMAN, 1sh.com.
On the mic with Mike, ladies and gentlemen, that's why we're the best business.
Really
Where
are.
else do you get this at?
Really are.
Nowhere
This is-
else. This is
This
amazing.
is disrupting the old business
That's
model.
right.
This is like breaking into a new, it's the business behind the business.
And you know, it's the glue that whole, like I said, the touchy-feely stuff. And a lot of times people didn't get it. How do you monetize that? How does that hold things together? It does.
It helps you connect to
It-
the human of the person, the
Yes.
people who are listening. It's the connection that we're
And you know,
craving.
we even found that we could connect through Zoom.
Look at
Absolutely.
people don't like it. They get Zoom fatigue, but you can connect though.
Yeah.
I never, you know what I mean?
You
People
choose
now, I'm like,
to.
If you choose to.
we've never met. It's just like you think because you saw them in that box.
So then we've been in person, then we've met in
I'm
person.
like, oh, I've never met you.
That's what I'm like, hug me. Are you hugging?
Yeah.
You gotta ask that now.
Yeah,
Are you
yeah.
hugging?
Or you do this and you're like, oh, and then like,
Air hug.
I know.
I want to, can
Howdy,
I touch
howdy.
you? Can I touch you?
There you go. On the mic is Mike.
Oh
We're
my
here
gosh.
at ESPN Richmond. That's where you're 106.1 every day, 5 to 7, as well as The Choice. That's where you find me 2 to 3 every day, as well as International Business Coach Radio. I'd like to thank you for tuning in. As I said, make sure you check out our sponsors. Got a couple of new ones who are out there. You'll be able to hear them online, as well as you'll see when you hear them in the commercials. I always say, like, the microphone ain't free.
Mhm.
Plus, my grandkids do need stuff, so.
Stop, right?
Really do. And
He's
plus,
like, no,
my wife
legit.
makes sure I say that. So that,
Make sure them people know.
hey, Mike, tell the people, Mike. All right, we gotta go, ladies and gentlemen. Take care. Have a good one.
I love
Thanks for
black
tuning
love.
in.
Oh my gosh. Oh, wow.
Oh, boy.
That's hilarious. Mike, you're always fun.